boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm home at the movies.
And I'm Jackson.
Welcome. This week we're discussing not Goofy, because that's kind of like a weird, I'm doing a Goofy Obama.
I thought you were being, what was that movie, Inside Out? The Pixar movie? There's like the Binky character or whatever.
I'm Binky.
Or whatever his name is.
I'm going to make you sad. Remember your childhood.
Yeah, so that's who I thought you were being.
Fuck it, I'm done.
There you go. We don't have a topic, do we?
This week on Bored and Annoyed, we discuss Sonic.
We're bored with Sonic, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll find out.
We do have news, though.
We do.
Bringing you the most important and the most entertaining news that you will get all day. It's the movie news with a couple of rabble-rousers, Jackson and Home at the Movies. It's Bored and Annoyed with the news.
Did you get to see the pictures of
Batman?
Batman, yes. Robert Pattinson's Batman.
I thought the first promo they showed looked pretty badass, but then they show set pictures of a stuntman on a motorcycle or whatever, and it looks kind of shitty, but it's not. I mean, that's not what it's going to look like when the movie comes out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is it's a stunt guy on a stunt bike, so he's probably got some padding in that helmet.
The helmet looked ridiculous, right.
And I'm sure that he has some like screens on the eyes. I'm sure that those are, to protect him from getting bugs in his eyes because he's actually a real guy. I'm sure that that's not going to be there. It wasn't there in the promo video that they had for Batman's reveal anyways, so why would it all of a sudden be here for Stunt Guy?
That's true. Yeah.
I dig the look of the costume.
I like the symbol, how it's like supposedly it's the gun that killed his parents or something.
Oh, that's stupid, and I don't buy that for
that's
two
the
fucking
rumor.
Look, if that's what they do, that's dumb.
I would like it.
That's fucking dumb if that's the idea.
Hey.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe you can make it work. I don't know. But to me...
Oh, I'm sure it's not functional. It's just like some...
No, he's got a functional gun on his chest. He's
that would be cool,
Batman.
too. Just pull off that,
Yeah, he can start murdering people like
there's
Ben
not
Affleck's.
much... They got to start doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, to me, it looked like it was like a high-tech Batarang that he could take off.
Sure. It looked like something he built himself. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of like a biker / armor look to it.
Right.
A little Arkham Knight-ish.
Sure. He's not as beefy as the Arkham Knight.
No. But I mean, I'm okay with that. I love... It's semi steampunk-ish.
Yes, it is.
And I like that because, like you said, we got to do something different.
Right.
And I am so tired of like the molded muscle look for Batman. Like Batman is just one of the most vain superheroes. He just is like black leather, but it's also got muscles. Like
that is true to think that you'd have to design it to, have the muscles.
It's a bit much. So to me, I'm like, looks practical, looks good. Probably a semi-prototyped suit anyways, because we can't just have Batman have one suit anymore.
That's the other question is what are they doing here with this story? Like, are we getting the origin story again? Are we skipping the origin story? Do we know?
Rumor has it that this is going to be based on like year 2 of him being Batman. So he's done the origin story and he's been at it for a little bit, but he's not the grizzled Batman.
Are we going to see his parents die and a pearl necklace get ripped
dear
off?
God, no. Never again. We get it. Take a note from Spider-Man Homecoming. We all know the story already.
Little spoiler, for later in the episode, not for any movies, but I watched Joker again, and I just can't stand the fact that they even put that in Joker.
Yeah, that was the problem. I think that was my main problem with the ending of the movie. Was the fact that they threw that in. It was so wildly unnecessary.
Yeah, it didn't really connect with, it's not about Bruce Wayne, so who cares?
And what would have been nice is if they had maybe, you don't even need to do it. You don't need to do it, but say you want to hint at it happening.
Okay.
All you have to do is have one person go down that alley and you see Bruce and his parents leave.
There you go.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Or you don't even see the person go down the alley. You just see Bruce and his parents go outside, go down the alley.
Yes.
They're at a theater. Everybody knows.
Yes, that would have been tasteful. I mean, as tasteful as you can do the death of two parents.
Why? You're a comic book guy. Why are the pearls always involved? Can we not kill his parents without the pearls?
It's just so iconic. It's just so iconic.
I'm so sick of it.
I mean, to me, it's one of those things that I do feel like is necessary if you're going to do it, because it's such a throwback to what being rich at the time that Batman was created looked like. And it's one thing that can still kind of translate and still kind of bridge the time gap, no matter when this movie is supposed to take place.
Okay.
She's a classy lady, that Martha. How did I know that name?
Hey,
they have the same mom.
Yeah.
We've got another big piece of news. This one just came out. Bob Iger is to step down from being the CEO of Disney, effective immediately.
Do we know why?
No, we don't, apparently. It just it's happening suddenly. They already have a replacement in, I believe his name is like Bob Shipka. But to me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I know why he's doing this.
Star Wars.
No. Well, maybe, but I don't know when they do like their quarterly meetings, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, Star Wars is at an all-time low. Disney Plus doesn't have any new content, so I'm sure that the subscriptions, the narrative around Disney Plus, I expect to start turning sour until like Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out.
They're getting some new shit, or maybe they already did. They're getting Clone Wars, but again, that's just for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I whatever.
So I kind of look at it like
one of the Parks guys take over. Like, isn't somebody who took over like involved with Disney Parks?
Yeah, that's what I believe. That's what it was. Let's see. Yeah, Bob Chapek.
Okay.
Chapek.
That's
what
a
we'll
long
say.
name.
No, it's just Chapek.
Really that long?
But Bob Chapek came in and he said, I'm incredibly honored and humbled to assume the role of CEO of what I truly believe is the greatest company in the world, and to lead our exceptionally talented and dedicated cast members and employees. Bob Iger has built Disney into the most admired and successful media and entertainment company, and I have been lucky to enjoy a front row seat as a member of his leadership team. I look at Bob Iger and I'm like, this guy, what he just did for Disney as far as like acquiring Lucas, acquiring Pixar, acquiring Marvel, and now going out and getting 20th Century Fox, and now also starting a streaming service and getting into that whole market. What he's done, there's no more mountains left. There's nowhere for him to go but down. As a CEO,
just wrap it.
Just wrap it up is his idea. I'm done going out on a high note. I brought you the X-Men are coming back to Marvel.
Now someone else can fuck it up.
Yep, exactly. And they can take all the rap for whatever negativity happens.
Sure.
But he built the house. He's like now laying it.
He should have fired Kathleen Kennedy on his way out.
That would have been nice. I would not have minded. You know what? You can always reallocate her to another area. It's just that she's proven that she's not very good at planning a franchise. Right. Yeah. So, I'm sure, I bet she would do good with probably the Indiana Jones franchise. That's
she was in on the fourth one.
Was she?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. It takes more than
I'm sure she's good at something.
She's been a producer on amazing movies. So she has to be good. I shouldn't say that. There are plenty of people who are incompetent in Hollywood. So
when's Zack Snyder's next movie come out?
Jesus Christ. I have no idea. I think he's doing a horror movie next, I believe.
Oh.
Going back to his roots. Hopefully.
I guess what was his first big movie was the Dawn of the Dead remake, right?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Which was pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably his best movie.
Probably.
One of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Thoughts about Bob?
Sorry to see Bob go, I guess. We'll see. Disney was around before Bob. It'll be around a ways after Bob.
Yep.
Feige's in like complete control of Marvel, right?
That's my one fear is you had somebody in Bob Iger who allowed Pixar and Disney to do, or Pixar and Marvel to do their own thing.
He's not going to fuck with that.
I would hope not.
No,
but I mean, you never know. Egos are crazy in Hollywood, so
there's just no way. I mean, there's a board. They could all tell him to go fuck himself, and he'd be out tomorrow. You know,
that's true. I really hope that they would do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff already in production with Marvel, so I shouldn't be afraid. But I mean, when it comes to big corporate overlords fucking with like the one property that I like that they have, I'm like, please don't do the thing that corporations do and fuck things up.
Yeah, well, I mean, they also made it.
They also
made
it. Yeah, they did.
Right.
They did. Well, I lay that at the feet of Lord Feige.
Lord Feige.
Lord Feige. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there were some other pieces of news, but I don't think there was anything anywhere near as big.
I do want to mention that, you know, you brought up Indiana Jones, and Spielberg will not be directing the fifth Indiana Jones movie, which I think starts filming like mid-year. So they're like close to being.
They are, but isn't it James Mangold taking over?
Talks.
He's in talks.
He's in talks.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's good.
I mean, the thing is if it's James Mangold, the guy is a great director.
Yeah, he's really good.
So you're not really getting much worse than Spielberg. I mean, most directors are a slight step down, but also Spielberg hasn't been putting out his best stuff anyways.
Well, and we've seen Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So
my question is, why Indy 5? Why do we need this?
No, we don't.
Like, it was awful the last time, and that was like, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't good.
He was too old then.
Harrison?
I mean, Harrison was
they
too
wrote
old then.
Like the wrong story, and it was just.
Well, the story was bad, but also every time
Indy needs to move into the wise wizard master.
But
role.
nobody ever wants to see that because people hate seeing their heroes age.
Yeah, but you need to if you can get someone really likable and good, like if they wouldn't have done 4,
right, and
they did like 5 now with like Chris Pratt or something,
right,
then you could maybe make it work.
But
you need to do what we all thought we were getting with The Last Jedi, right? Where it's like not a grumpy, angry asshole.
Right.
That'd be great if they had Indy just be like a total asshole, just, you know, completely not helpful.
But then I'm just watching Harrison Ford do the thing that he's been doing for the last 20 years.
It's true.
I'm so tired of grumpy old man Harrison Ford.
He should have played Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. They should have cast Harrison Ford as Luke Skywalker.
Wow.
Really confused people.
Really, yeah. Yeah. I mean, this whole Indy thing, I don't get why we're doing it. And the only thing I can think that I would want to see out of a movie is a grown-up short round coming back and being like the new Indy. And, you know, you kind of get your PC culture in there or whatever, the PC police, because, you know, it's an Asian character. There aren't really many Asian leads, and you get to sell it to China.
That's true. You sell it to China.
So, I mean, that's a big one. But, I mean, I don't want to see this, and I don't want there to ever be a mention of him having a son. I don't even want a line about it.
I was just gonna say, is Shia gonna be in this?
He better fucking not.
And didn't the last one end with him marrying Karen Allen's character?
Yes. God, that movie sucked. That movie was so fucking bad.
It's funny because that's one of those where it's like, it wasn't incompetently made. It was just a terrible story.
It was a terrible script and a terrible story. Yeah. No, I fully agree. Let's see. There's a little bit of news too, as far as like Doctor Strange 2.
Okay.
It's sounding more and more and more like Sam Raimi is going to do it.
Sweet.
So, I mean, I am so ridiculously pumped for this if this happens. Like, and I think Sam's such a pro that he would probably be able to come on this late in the game and not have to like delay the movie.
Yeah, I would rather have him kind of shape whatever they have into his
I would too.
vision.
I just don't want it to be, because he has a tendency to go a little corny, and I like Doctor Strange being a little darker.
Sure.
I would like him to stay with the darker stuff if he can.
God, he's awesome. I fully trust whatever he does. He should go back to Sony and make his Spider-Man 4 movie.
I mean,
with Tobey Maguire older.
Look, Sony wants to get people on board with their fucking shared universe. Fucking Spider-Man 4, that shit. It all takes place in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe. Fine.
Yeah, and then if they want at some point, they could figure out a way to like... Yeah.
That's what fucking hell, that's what I would do. You established it with the fucking Spider-Verse movie.
Right.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And then you can have I'm sorry, but you want to, Sony, do you want a fucking idea here? You fucking do the real Spider-Verse movie with Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland.
Can we just leave Andrew Garfield out of it?
I mean,
Can we please?
You know what I would do personally is I would take Emma Stone, have her come in as the Spider-Gwen character.
Okay.
And then, and then maybe Andrew Garfield can come in for a cameo, because it's going to feel like he's the odd man out if he doesn't come in. But she's like the third.
He's going to feel like the odd man out if he does come in, because nobody likes him.
It's not his fault.
He sucked. His movies sucked.
His movies sucked.
No, he sucked. Sorry. The way they had him play that character,
he was written very poorly.
Right. So he sucked.
He was written very poorly.
Oh,
he's a
nice to
he's
him.
a very good actor.
He's good.
He's a very good actor.
I've liked him on other stuff.
Yeah,
but he sucked.
Well, they miswrote his character so like.
Well,
to me, it's like you have a character who's built around the idea of responsibility, and at the end of the first movie, after Gwen Stacy's dad dies and your uncle dies because of your irresponsibility, you say, well, rules are meant to be broken. You know what?
You're digging way deeper than I am.
You fucking... It's bad.
Okay.
It's bad.
George Clooney is not a bad actor, right?
No,
he sucked.
He was a horribly miswritten Batman.
He sucked. Can't we just say they suck when they suck? I don't care whose fault it is. I
don't blame George Clooney for it, is what I'm saying. But yes, he sucked as Batman.
When I see Andrew Garfield in any movie, I'm like, oh, there was the shitty Spider-Man. You know what I mean? A poor guy. But
I do feel bad for him, because I don't think that did his career any favors. I really don't.
Well, yeah. Anytime you suck,
still don't blame him. But yes, he did suck. His Spider-Man was the worst. Not his fault. Not his fault at all. But his Spider-Man did suck, and his Peter Parker sucked, and everything.
He was such a cool, hip Peter Parker.
I still there's one scene in the first movie that I still like, which is the scene where he's messing with the robber in the car, because that was the first time we got real jokey Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you kind of did it. You
it reminded me of something you would have seen like in the cartoon or.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
Other than that, that movie can get fucked.
Yeah. They both suck.
Yeah. Especially the second one. Anyways, I think we're done with the news. The Sonic review?
Let's talk about
shit
Sonic
out of the
the
way.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
This was funny because I went by myself at like a matinee showing or something, and literally it was like 8 kids and a mom that were like 2 rows in front of me, and I'm sitting in the back like, here I am. I'm the loser. Everyone talks about it.
I was gonna say the parents were probably a little uncomfortable with you.
I don't even think they knew I was there. Because at the theater I went to, they've got those walls, and I was in the back row, and the seats are so. I don't even think anybody knew I was there.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, the movie was okay. I mean, I didn't hate my life while I was watching it.
It was not good.
It's just a road trip movie filled with road trip tropes. And then the problem is it's also a kid's movie.
It's a pure kid's movie and there's nothing for the parents. That's the problem. Is it's not like your Shrek where the parents are going to get a lot out of the movie. It's just a straight like 6 to 8 year old, 6 to 9 year old.
It's got like a cute little message though, and none of the characters did I hate, which is interesting.
But they're all stock characters. There's nothing to any of them. Even Sonic himself.
I would say there's a little bit to James Marsden.
Yeah, they're very thin characters. They're children's characters. My problem is that. It's not particularly well written as far as jokes go, but I mean, once again,
there is a fart.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Everybody. Yep. But yeah, it's just for kids. Like that's the problem is like if you go in thinking that you as anybody over the age of 12 is going to enjoy this.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think that you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to exist while it happens and not hate your life, but you're not going to enjoy it.
I mean, I enjoyed some stuff in it. I would say I liked it. I just didn't think it was as great. Like there's people online talking about how awesome it is.
It's not awesome. It's certainly not awesome.
But I don't agree. I mean, it's not. So the movie you're describing to me is something like, and I didn't even see this, by the way.
It's like the Smurfs.
No, it can't be that bad. I haven't seen that.
I haven't either, but it looks and feels exactly like a Smurf trailer.
So I was comparing it to Garfield, which was a fucking nightmare.
I never saw Garfield.
Horrible. That's horrible. I would assume that movie that came out last year or the year before, Monster Trucks. Do you remember the previews for that?
Yep.
That's what I was expecting. So
this is exactly what I got. Was exactly what I was expecting.
I did not. I thought it would be horrible.
When people started coming out and saying, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's a passable movie," I was like, "Oh, there are some jokes for the adults. Maybe there's a little bit more heart there than you were expecting." But for me, I'm like, no, this is just a standard kids movie that has nothing for adults.
It had some heart though. It had like a nice little message and shit.
If it's a kid's movie and it doesn't have heart, that's a shitty kid's movie. This is just a standard kid's movie. There's a little bit of heart. There's a little bit of a message. You might chuckle at a couple of the really dumb jokes, but for the most part, there's nothing here for anybody over the age of 12.
I mean, I feel like if that was the case, it wouldn't be doing as well as it is.
Look at the competition.
I don't care. Everybody expected this thing to just fucking bomb.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. They were smart about what they fucking did.
You think they purposely...
No, I'm not saying they purposefully did it, but the way that they handled it after the whole CGI character redesign, they made it seem like we did this for the fans. That was the mantra, and they changed the narrative of their own movie.
Who would have even known that this movie existed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would have fallen into the February obscurity of fuck me, it's February.
But for a video game movie in February, when people aren't rushing out to the theater, it has been extremely successful. The audiences seem to like it.
It's a kid's movie.
I don't think parents are bitching about it. Like, you go on Facebook I'm not
bitching about it. I'm just saying there's nothing here.
Right, but clearly people disagree with you because people are on social media talking about, I took my kids to it. It was great. We really all liked it. People can disagree
all they want. They can disagree all they want.
Have a heart, Mr. Grinch.
It's not a good movie. It's just
fine. It was pretty good.
It's fine. I wouldn't call fine good.
My problem with it isn't so much what yours is. The fact that it doesn't have adult jokes, that sort of thing.
No, that's not my problem, but we can keep going.
My problem is that the biggest example, and it's been a couple weeks since I saw it, so I'm just going to pull out shit I could remember. The biggest example is the bar scene.
Yeah.
Where it's just like trope after trope after trope.
You're here to check off a list.
Right.
And it's funny because the movie could have almost gone meta, and I would have given it props because at that point, Sonic is pulling out a bucket list.
Yes.
So it's funny because the movie is literally checking off cliches off of a list.
It's true.
And you have a character with a list.
You're not wrong.
You could have done something there. I mean, there's a lot of cliches in this. That's just one of the many cliche
now
things.
The Quicksilver slowdown.
Yeah.
That's going to be like in every
Yep.
movie with a really fast character has to have that scene now.
Yep. Well, it was mandatory in this, and it was fine. It was a kid version of that kind of idea.
Sure.
Everything is just the kid version of everything. I didn't particularly like Sonic's character in this. And I went to see this movie with a longtime Sonic fan, and they're like, well, it's not really Sonic. That character, that was like a kid version of Sonic. They're like, Sonic is a dick. He's kind of like Deadpool, but he's not as funny, and he's just more of a dick.
Sonic has a character?
He has a character. I don't know. They had cartoons and shit. There were fans.
Okay.
Look, and I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, but I do know that Sonic is way more of a dick than he seemed to be in this. He seemed to be like,
he's lonely.
He's a lonely child.
I thought he was fine. I kind of
hated the beginning with the whole like, go, like with the owl mom.
Oh yeah,
go to another world.
It was funny because I was worried when that was happening. I'm like, oh, why didn't they just have the balls to make a movie like in this world?
That's kind of my whole point.
Then,
is like, that would be a Sonic movie,
right? But then it got to the human part, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not hating this. I'm not annoyed with all these people. I don't hate this movie like I do whenever else they try to do this. So
it's not horrible. When it's one of those things where I'm of two minds on the movie, which is like, it's like a C- D+ kind of kids movie. It's fine. You're not going to hate your life while you're watching it. But then the other part of me is like, well, you could have just made a Sonic movie with Tails and Knuckles.
But nobody would have seen that.
Fucking sign me up. I'm sorry, but when you show that you're ashamed of the property so much that you're like, let's just take the main character and put him in a road movie for children with James Marsden, it shows that you have no respect for the source material. I mean, it's a fucking video game. Like I fucking care. But seriously, just make the movie that the property that you have is.
Hey, they could have made the Mario Brothers movie.
I'm sorry. You do a fully CGI Mario Brothers movie with Bowser.
No. I'm saying like they changed the original Mario Brothers movie, and it's a fucking disaster.
Right.
And this was not that.
No, and it's not. And it's, to me, it's just that you have. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I can't believe that in a movie about Sonic, there are so many shots of like military personnel and trucks driving places. This is a movie that should be high octane, running around.
The problem is Sonic's not interesting.
No, Sonic's not interesting.
Right.
But he could be visually fun. It could be I'm sorry, look at fucking Spider-Verse. Just put Sonic in something like that. That's a Sonic movie that people would want to see. And it would be legitimately cool. I don't need him. Whoever
not
needed.
That it would be bad. I would rather get that movie too, obviously,
right?
Because I would see that, and if it was good, I'd be happy. But is that going to be a success? I don't know.
I mean,
man.
who decided that we needed a live action Sonic movie anyways?
Right.
Though?
That's where, because you can't just leave well enough alone.
He could just be a fully CGI character in a fully CGI world, and we would just be fine with it.
But maybe nobody sees it. Maybe
you
need an actor or two in there to get people to see it.
Right. But I mean, Wreck-It Ralph did decent numbers.
Yeah, but Wreck-It Ralph is like a Pixar. Actually, I like Sonic in Wreck-It Ralph.
Right. And that my point being is that Wreck-It Ralph started from the ground up with no fan base.
It's true.
Sonic has a fan base.
Yeah, well, are you going to give, I mean, who was that, a Pixar?
It was a Pixar movie.
Yeah, so are we going to give Sonic to Pixar?
I think that's a way better place than, I don't even know who made this. Who made this? Oh, it was Paramount. It was Paramount.
Yeah. Because you remember the rings
at the beginning. Jesus Christ, what a thing that was. That actually makes a lot of sense that it was Paramount, because they do Transformers movies. They do the Fast and Furious.
And now they do Sonic.
They would do the lowest common denominator version of the Sonic.
Come on.
It is. It's lowest common denominator.
Come on.
They turned it into a road movie with a character who can run to the East Coast in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
they turned it into a road movie.
He's lost in life and in,
Yeah, but I mean, you're telling me he's so dumb he couldn't figure out, like, he knows Fitbit jokes. He knows like fucking like oh, this is what Amazon was going to do to deliver their packages. You're telling me he's that dumb that he couldn't figure out how to get on the internet? He's that fucking stupid?
Okay, fine. You're going for the logic in a child movie.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You mean the logic that applies to literally every situation in life.
I'm going to say that the movie was enjoyable to sit through. I wasn't bored. It had a, nice little arc for the two main characters.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I enjoyed watching this nice little road trip. Now, am I pumped to like turn it on and ever watch it again in my life? No.
Do you want to revisit this world?
Sure.
No. Sure. Have no desire. We haven't even brought up Jim Carrey.
Yes, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey is worth bringing up in this because it's nice to see him do his old 90s thing.
Yes.
But the problem is that there's really not much here for jokes for him. So
he
even
can't
though he's
be inappropriate.
Well, you can't be inappropriate. But look, the thing is you can make jokes and not be inappropriate. We don't need inappropriate. Point being, he just was not given great material. So the performance is there, the energy is there, but the laughs are much more sparse than you would expect from classic Jim Carrey.
Can he be funny without being inappropriate, though?
I think so. Maybe not. I don't know. That's an interesting topic. Maybe next week we could talk about that. I'd have to revisit like his filmography and see what he can do.
I'm just thinking about some of the gags like The Mask or Ace Ventura, Liar, Liar even. There's always an undercurrent of
inappropriate.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, and that's the other thing too, is I'm like, why make this movie strictly for children when this is a property that came out in like the early 90s?
That's the best point you've made because, yeah, this is a Sonic movie and Sonic has reached his...
And nostalgia is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an entire generation that's basically being spoon-fed nostalgia at this point.
I mean, how much of the hype over this is just like, oh, it's actually okay, maybe it's pretty good. And then people are like that excited about the fact that it wasn't a complete disaster.
I think that's literally all it is. I think it's video game fans happy that a video game movie came out and it didn't blow chunks.
It was way better than like Rampage. In my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because Rampage is just broken. It doesn't make any sense. And the characters are stupid. And everything about it is bad.
I mean, they went, like, that's the thing is like Rampage didn't shoot for anything either. But this movie is so low as common denominator. It didn't shoot for anything. But because it doesn't shoot for anything, it's fine. It doesn't have a plot that like really can get broken.
He needs to get the ring that's on top of the tower.
Which is, I mean, geez, dude, I'm sorry, but there was some product placement like Zillow.
Oh God, awful. Yeah.
There was a lot of product placement in this. Olive Garden.
The Olive Garden stuff twice was crazy.
Like it was not good in that regard.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was wild how
it was.
It was. We really don't think we're going to make any money on this movie.
Yes.
We better get some ad revenue. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know.
You know what I liked? How the credit scene was like the game.
Yeah, I would have liked if more of like the movie had been like that. I mean, like it's not horrible, but it's not particularly good. It's just like I think of like the action sequences and like there's actually kind of some potential with a character like this. But when you had like the chase scene with him and Robotnik at the end,
yes,
it's literally just like wide shots that they got off of a
well, it's all shit you've seen before.
All off of a drone. And then they just have like, and it's the cheapest way that they can do CGI because it's such a wide shot that they can just have blue light and red light and that's it. And it's like, that's just cheap and it's just kind of lazy.
Some of it looked pretty neat, though.
Some of it was kind of cool. There was a little bit of a Dragon Ball Z thing at the end when he's like, he's my friend. Oh, there he is. He powered up and everything. And there was a part of me, I was like, all right, I see you, DBZ. I see it. I can get somewhat on board with this. I mean, look, I didn't hate the movie. There were moments that kind of got me, but overall, it's just kind of a fine kids movie.
You're the Grinch these last 2 episodes. You're shitting on Sonic. You're shitting on Harley.
Look, it's fuck me February.
On everybody. Hey, February's been good to me.
No,
I've been enjoying it.
I don't know if I've Jackson. You've lowered your standards and you sold out.
I don't know if I've seen anything bad in the theater.
Gretel and Hansel.
Ah, yes, that was February. Or was that January?
I don't know. I've been out of it.
I think that was January. I think that was fuck you. It's January time.
Okay. Either way, the last 3 movies that I've seen, none of them I'll see again.
Dude, we'll talk about it in shit we watched, but I really liked a movie I saw this weekend. But yeah, I don't know.
I think we're done. Oh, did we do grades? You didn't do grades.
Oh, I'll do a C+.
Okay.
I'll give it a C+.
All right, I'll do a D+.
I mean, like the kind of grade where you still smack your kid when the report card comes home because he didn't get that B, but he's not going to get beaten to a bloody pulp, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a nice little slap.
This is one of those ones where your kid's not that bright, so you were pretty much expecting this, but you're still like you still should have done better.
Yeah, that's right. I went and saw The Lodge.
The Lodge. How was The Lodge?
I was expecting a generic like horror, like a mainstream horror movie.
Sure.
I thought it was awesome. I was I had forgotten that the directors of this did Good Night Mommy.
Oh, sure.
And it feels like that. So there might be like a little bit of a one-trick pony thing happening with them right now. But this is only the second thing of theirs I've seen.
Okay.
But yes, it is. It's cruel.
Oh, it's cruel.
It's mean.
To the main characters?
Just awful. Okay. And I loved that.
Okay.
Now there's people bitching online, and I'm going to keep this spoiler free because when you see it,
sure,
I want to know your take on the narrative choices in it. And, it's like what were we just talking about before we started? Oh, another movie I'll talk about in shit we watched. The Invitation.
Sure, yeah.
So there's some stuff in this that you could kind of venture into that territory of like, but wait, what?
Why?
Yeah.
And
it would be easy to do that.
Sure.
Like it's
so like, you're telling me I might nitpick this movie?
I think you're going to, but I think you'll respect how well the actual like tension is how good of a job they do of ramping up the tension. I mean, the last 30 to 40 minutes of this are like fucking I was in.
Sure.
And both of us, me and the wife, were like silent and fucking like, holy shit, this is crazy. Okay. This is getting crazy. I'm not quite sure what the fuck is happening.
Okay.
I really liked it. That Riley Keough or whatever, she was in Logan Lucky. She's the sister.
Yep.
She's great.
Okay.
Fucking outstanding. The kids are great, including the other It kid, Billy.
Yep.
Billy Boy is in it.
I liked him.
So do I.
In it. So
I think he's going to be good as an actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a little girl. Alicia Silverstone is in this.
Oh wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very like it has one of those like Hereditary-esque moments where it's like, holy shit,
sure,
what the fuck, Okay. But yeah, the plot is basically the parent or the dad wants to get the kids closer with the future stepmom, so he takes them all up to this lodge. And
he has to leave.
He has to leave. Right. He has to leave. And there's a backstory they introduce about this woman. And there's some backstory with the kids. And there's a reason why this is kind of a high tension situation.
Sure.
And that kind of works into what I was saying with, okay, would this really happen?
Sure.
But yeah, everything's fucked.
Okay.
And it feels, you feel like you're in a lodge with nothing around. It's very well shot. It feels cold.
It's a good setting. I remember thinking that, seeing the trailer, I was like, this is a good setting for this type of movie.
Yes, and it is way better than I was expecting.
Okay. Well, what kind of grade are we looking at?
Like weighted grade towards my kind of curve, or my real grade? My
real grade.
Real grade. Oh, this hurts because I
real
loved
grade
it.
And then weighted grade.
Okay, so I will say this is a B, maybe B plus that I loved.
Okay, so
does that
weighted,
make sense?
Weighted, it's like an A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's not going to win any awards.
It's an A
going to
because
get
it like
nitpicked to shit. But
an A because it blew you away. It surprised you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Movies like that happen.
Yes. I
would actually kind of argue Alita was kind of like that for me.
I would agree.
Like,
yeah, rewatching Alita, it's still fun as hell, but you can like pick it apart as you go through it.
I don't even like pick it apart. It's just not as good on a rewatch as it was that first time because you're so blown away.
Right. Well, and I'm excited for you to see this because I would love to hear whether or not some of the shit bothers you on a narrative level. Because there are moments in this where you're like, well, wait a minute. But yeah, I was so in, like, I was just like, all right, I'm willing to just go along with all this shit.
Right.
And it's fucked up. It's the most like tension I've felt since Hereditary, like towards the end of Hereditary, and it's the most cruel movie I've seen since that.
Okay.
Where it's just horrible.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no happiness. It's just people fucking crying. Depressing shit.
You're not selling this
Loved
movie.
It.
Okay.
Loved it.
I'll throw out one of mine. Complete different 180 from what you're talking about. Fighting with My Family. I finally saw Fighting with My Family.
That's a nice movie.
Florence Pugh. It started a little slow for me.
Okay.
But I really like her. And was surprised at how much I liked the brother character because I fully expected it to just focus on Paige and her story. But the fact that it focused on Zach and his story really livens up the movie. And it's not that Paige wouldn't be interesting on her own, but watching those two have these diametrically opposed journeys makes it fun. The script is good. The humor is good. This is from, oh God, what's his name? He was in Jojo Rabbit. Tall guy, British, glasses.
Oh yeah.
He actually was in the movie too. He was the girlfriend's dad. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was great. Whole cast is great. Stephen Merchant. Really, he's good, and I think he's a good director. I think he actually directed some of the action sequences in this pretty well.
The wrestling
sequences, yeah. I really, Vince Vaughn was Vince Vaughn, but that was fine.
Yeah, he was very likable.
The Rock was very much The Rock.
He was literally The Rock.
He was so on brand.
Yes.
Getting a little...
I know
Getting more than a little tired.
I know
of it.
Can't
just
wait
do
for
something
Fast
new.
9.
Just do something new, Rock. Be a dick.
It would be good to see him be a bad guy, wouldn't it? A villain in a movie.
Anything new. Anything new where he's not the most likable, charming, nice, perfect person in every movie. That would be great.
He probably, ever since the Scorpion King, he just doesn't want to play that character.
He doesn't want to do the heel.
He's done. He thinks it was because he was the bad guy.
Yep.
You know what was funny too is he was a great heel at the WWF.
He was.
When he was a bad guy, he was awesome.
Well, and he wasn't even much like he was a bad guy, but I mean, it's like they were all bad guys.
True.
It was
that
Stone
era
Cold.
Was
it was Stone Cold Steve Austin and him. It's like pick your asshole.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, it's great. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Florence Pugh is so fucking good. And my God, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's great. And she's gorgeous. Yeah.
But she's good in everything.
Yes. And this was my favorite Florence Pugh movie of last year.
Really?
And the other two got all the critical acclaim, Midsummer and Little Women.
Of the two, Midsummer is definitely the better performance of the two.
Better performance. No, this isn't her best performance, but this was my favorite movie of hers overall.
Sure.
In totality.
Right.
Because I thought it was great. For what it was, I mean, I enjoyed every minute of it. I was like totally along for the ride. It made me laugh. It made me emotional at times. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it nails everything that it's going for. Like I said, the beginning is a little slow, but other than that, it really picks up.
Yep.
And I love the fact that they actually kind of validated, like, she has this whole like, oh, well, there's strippers and there's dancers who come into the WWE looking for fame and money. And then they humanize those people.
That was great.
And I loved it.
Because she's being a judgmental asshole towards them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Loved it. Really good movie. Highly recommend. It's like a B+ for me.
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
I think that's a low grade.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's a low grade,
I'm
Alex.
Pretty sure
you're really a Grinch this year. 2020 is.
I was on my deathbed. I was on my death. Well, that's something that I realized too. Is like I had bronchitis last year, which is letting last week, letting the viewers in on why we didn't have an episode.
I was gonna say you had bronchitis last year, so all of your grades were grades lower than they should have been.
But I had bronchitis, and so like I watched like a decent amount of TV, but I realized like when you're that sick, sometimes it's just hard to find joy in anything, even things that are like, even things that you know that you like.
Sure.
And we'll get into that with some more of my viewings.
Oh, okay. What else? Just go on.
You want me to? All right. You want me to just go? Okay.
Just go.
All right. So I started. I watched Booksmart.
The whole thing.
I watched. I mean, to be honest, near the end, I went to the bathroom and I started like making food and stuff. That's my grade for the movie. Is by the end I started making food because it's not particularly good. It's not horrible.
It's not new. It doesn't feel.
No, it's not that funny. And I really, really disliked the main character, which you can have an asshole, judgmental main character all you want. You have to make them turn around at some point. And I didn't feel like the movie had her have a turn anywhere near early enough for me to be on board with her. Her friend, her lesbian friend, I found much nicer, much better, much more relatable.
Much nicer.
Yes. And if the movie had centered around her, I think the movie would have been much, much better for it. But it didn't. It's fine. It's like a girl's version of Superbad, but it's nowhere near as raunchy or as funny.
I would agree. It's not as good.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's just fine.
You know what I remember being jarring as hell?
The music.
The music.
Yes.
Like, why is there music here?
It full on becomes a music video in multiple scenes. One of those, I was like, all right, well, at least I like this song. I've never heard it before, but at least this is pleasant to the ear. But I'm like, why am I in a swimming in the pool music video?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't get why it has so much acclaim.
People love that shit.
Other than I just think that it's kind of a liberal thing, and I'm a liberal guy. I just think that some people are just they're like, oh, these are my people. This is like my type of person.
Just because it's women or what? Like,
well, no, but because
it's been a while since I've watched
the main character is like a liberal. Like she wants to be like the youngest woman in the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So she's pretty left leaning, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm fucking left leaning as shit, but it's just not.
But who cares?
That doesn't make your character likable just because I have the same ideology as them.
Yes, I would agree.
So,
I watched a documentary called "Don't Fuck with Cats."
Ah, yes, I've heard about this. I've heard about this.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to watch this, because I just watched the trailer and I was like, oh God, I can't.
It's like an asshole who did like bad things to cats online and posted it, right? That's like the premise.
Videotaped murdering cats.
He murdered cats. Okay, yes. I didn't know he murdered cats.
Like they kind of tastefully, because they need to show part of the video just to get you, like,
Jesus,
because you need to know so the weight of it is there,
right? Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But yeah, no, the first one, I think he puts it in like one of those like the plastic bags that you suck the air out of.
Wow.
Yeah, like a kitten, and he like
wow.
Whatever. Yeah, it's
wow.
fucked. It's what's fucked up is that's what it starts as.
Jesus Christ.
And then it goes into like places where you don't even expect it to go. It's one of those. Like, is it the don't fuck with cats is kind of what just got these sleuths after him.
Right.
But then there's a whole fucking story about when they figure out who it is and shit. It was really good. It's like 3 hours something long. I didn't think I was going to be able to watch it.
Sure.
But once you get hooked, especially since you want him to find the fucker so bad. And you know what's interesting? Like, what is it about animals, like pets, that like it? Like, I watch a movie about like a murderer, like a Ted Bundy or something.
Right.
It doesn't seem to bother me as much as watching. Like, what the fuck are you putting a kitten in a bag for?
Yeah.
And obviously, you're killing a human is like the ultimate awful fucking thing.
Right.
But
right.
there's just something about it.
The Ted Bundy thing, I remember, like, just when you hear the things that he did to these women and how violent he was, it's sickening. But I mean, it's I don't know if I can debate as to which one's more sickening. What right. This guy does to a cat
and I would say that the human is probably, just because I'm a human, self-interest, whatever, it's probably quote unquote worse, but there's something about one like an animal because of how defenseless it is.
That's the big thing, is the defenseless angle. It's like killing a baby. It's like, why, like, fuck.
Dude,
you.
But you go down a rabbit hole chasing this guy down, like globe-trotting. They're trying to find him. And it's fucking interesting. What ends up being like who this guy is and what else he's done and all that shit is crazy. It's one of those where by the end you're just like, this is what the fuck, you know?
Okay.
It was good.
Don't spoil it.
It was good.
Because
you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're going to text me immediately when you see what he does to some of these fucking cats. Multiple cats, by the way.
I'm not excited for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited everybody likes a little outrage.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you get that moment where you're like, God, I want that fucker to just...
Yes. This is so why we have the death penalty.
I mean, you can't watch this and just not want this guy to die.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't.
Right.
I challenge anyone to be like, I challenge anyone who, like, if someone walked in with a baseball bat and just beat this guy within an inch of his life, who would be like, no, that's not the right thing to do.
Oh man, what else do you have?
Oh, I've got another documentary series.
Sure,
it's called McMillions.
Okay,
this one is about the people who scammed the McDonald's Monopoly game.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, I had no idea about this. I had no clue before this came out. But apparently, like, every big prize that was ever won in the McDonald's Monopoly game was a fraud.
Wow.
There's a guy who works for the promotional company that makes the game pieces.
Sure.
And he's like shelling them out to his family members and like the mob and shit.
I fucking knew it.
but he and I'm not through the whole thing. I'm only I think there's 6 episodes and I'm through 3.
Okay.
But it's funny, like, I'm shocked that it took this long to catch him, like, as much as he gets out of this. Because, yeah, first it's, like, family members who are, like, not same last name, but...
Sure.
Like, you can kind of trace these people, right?
Right, yeah.
And then it's the mob, and there's one character in it who's great. he's an FBI agent, like who was like a young hotshot or a young like desk writing FBI guy.
Okay.
And he like saw this story and he's like, ooh, I want this one. This sounds hot, you know? And he goes,
This sounds hot.
He's fucking hilarious. He's got like one of those personalities where if you knew him in real life, you would either think he was great or you would think he was like the biggest douche ever.
Right.
You know, he's like documentaries that are the best documentaries are ones where there's a character who feels like a character.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I always think of the one about the two murderers in the two kid metal fan kids who were accused of killing children.
Oh, right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it, but there's a guy in that who Paradise Lost. There's a guy in that who's like a super religious zealot, just a fucking lunatic, like hillbilly, you know, pardon me, hillbillies out there listening, but just like, but he's a character.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you expect him in some fucking movie.
Yeah.
But this guy's like that. And his thing is when they start to like catch on, they bring in all the winners, like for like, they say it's for like, oh, we're doing a trip to Vegas and we want to interview all the winners on tape to like create a commercial or whatever. And he's just like, he's gung-ho into this shit. It's really fun to watch.
Sure.
But yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't remember the last time I saw the Monopoly game, so I don't know if they do it anymore or not.
Yeah, I don't think that they did it last year. I remember I would always get that hope. Where's that Park Avenue?
Nope.
Park
Place.
Park Place, whatever.
Boardwalk. That was the one. Yeah. Yeah,
I could get Park Place.
That's the fucker. Yeah.
You'd get 3 and you'd be like, I won't be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Nope, never.
No. Yeah, that one was too busy being taken by Uncle Jerry at the promotions place. That's kind of bullshit.
Uncle Leo.
No one had a chance to win shit.
Right. Yeah.
Like, do it once.
Yeah.
And just
once.
Ride off into the sunset and get away with it.
Yep. Why?
The greed, man.
Yep. Let's see, another thing that I watched. I started and did not finish The Brothers Sisters, or The Sisters Brothers.
I was disappointed to hear this.
It was boring. It was really, really boring. I got about 40 minutes in. I just could not believe it did not seem to be going anywhere. The ads made it look like it was going to be a riotous time, even if it was going to be just straight dark humor. I mean, there might have been humor in it, but
not your taste.
I didn't find anything to be funny. There was no comedic timing in it. Sure. Phoenix is good. Wow, what a surprise.
Always good.
John C. Reilly is good. Look, what a surprise. He's great. He's always John C. Reilly is highly underrated as an actor.
Okay, I would agree with that.
And that's fine. And look, Jake Gyllenhaal shows up. I forget one of the bad. He's one of the guys from I think it was Rogue One. Ray's something, or I don't know. Anyways, it sucked. It sucked. It was boring. There was nothing interesting about the characters or the world. It sucked.
All right.
It sucked. I would never finish it.
Not your favorite Western?
No. God. Yeah, I love that True Grit remake.
It was good.
I think that was a really fucking good movie.
I really liked it too.
But that sucked. I have other things, but I'm not all negative.
Okay. What do you got that's positive? Do you have anything?
I mean, I just did one of mine. Why don't you do one of yours?
Giving him some time. Okay. I guess I'll talk about The Invitation.
The Invitation. Hey, yes. I got some positives here.
Yeah, so this one, what can you share about the plot? Because the main like emotional hook in the movie is kind of a secret. Or right. You learn more about it as it goes.
Yes, I would say what you can say about this is it's the standard people get invited to a weird kind of party. That's a bunch of old friends that haven't seen each other in a long time. And some of these friends have maybe gone through some changes, and it's a little unnerving.
And it's weird.
And it's weird. And that's what I'll say without spoiling it.
It stars not Tom Hardy.
The non-Tom Hardy,
and that bald big dude who played Drew Carey's brother on the Drew Carey show back in the day. He was also the Zodiac killer in Zodiac.
Yep, and there was also the original
Khal Drogo.
No, Khal
Drogo's, or the replacement Khal Drogo is in it. Or not Khal Drogo.
Yeah, I was going to say, not Khal Drogo.
No, what's this? Joris? No.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
He's what's her name's lover in the thing.
In Game of Thrones.
In Game of Thrones. and not in the thing. No, not the thing.
No, what the fuck is his name though? Oh God, that's gonna he's He took over for the guy who plays the robotic dude in Alita.
Yes. Yep. I like him too.
He's great.
I think they're both great. I really like them both.
I would agree.
But that guy's in it too.
Yeah, great. Nobody knows who we're talking about.
Game of Thrones people do.
Dario Naharis.
Now a few more Game of Thrones people know.
No, yeah. Oh, Dario, duh. Is somebody sitting there knowing who we're talking about, getting all pissed?
Oh, definitely.
As we're talking?
Have you not been that guy listening to a podcast? You're like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Dario.
Yeah, right. That's great. Well, we suck, but he's in it. I really like the big bald guy. That actor, I always like him and everything he pops up in. He's one of those there's that documentary, The Guy Who Was in That Thing. He's one of those.
He is.
You know what I mean?
Well, he's creepy when he wants to be, but he's also got this really affable nature about him.
Yes.
So I really like him. But what did you think of the movie?
So overall, I quite enjoyed it.
Sure.
But much like The Lodge, I was sitting there, while The Lodge's problems didn't bother me during the course of the movie, it was more like when it was over thinking about it.
Sure.
This one, as it was going, I'm like, well, why don't you get out of there?
Yeah.
Get out. And all of his friends are telling him dude, you just need to chill.
Yep.
You need to be more open-minded, dude.
Yep.
And you're just like, no.
Yep.
This is all wrong. Everything is wrong that's happening here.
This is where Jackson being closed-minded actually helps him in a movie.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's a scene in this where one of the characters pulls out a laptop and shows a video of someone dying.
Yeah.
And the one guy flips shit.
Yep.
And everyone else is kind of disturbed a little bit. But that fucking party is clearing out.
But then they sell it as no, but it was peaceful and he went up to the Ascension or something like that. They say something like that.
I mean, it was fun. It was a fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
Yes.
It's very fun.
It is.
It's
the acting's great.
The acting's good. I love the main character's personal tie to what sort of keeps him there.
Yes.
Because what keeps him there is the thing that sort of makes you go, okay, this is all straight fucked, but I kind of get why you're not leaving. I would personally, I wouldn't. I would be leaving. I would have been gone.
One person leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. More things happen. The
ending was great.
The ending was, the ending was solid as fuck.
Once it starts really going off the rails, it's pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it really takes its time too.
Yes.
To set everything up because, I mean, again, like The Lodge, you go on the audience reviews for something like The Lodge, boring.
Wow.
I'm just, shut up. Look, go watch La Llorona, please.
I've got plenty of friends on Discount Tuesday. They're wonderful people.
That's the Discount Tuesday people.
Boring. I mean, that was basically
except for Gemini Man. They had fun with that.
That was basically my review of Gretel and Hansel.
That's true. No, but okay, there you go. So Gretel and Hansel tries to be that.
Yes.
Completely falls on its face.
Yes.
Though.
Yeah.
Because you don't care about anything.
There's no hook.
Right.
There's no personal tie. This is so it's and the personal tie for the main character is you just feel bad for the guy. You just feel bad.
Yeah, he got fucked.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yes. So
and his poor girlfriend.
Oh my God. It's a movie where actually genuinely you kind of just feel bad, like really bad for quite a few people in the movie.
I would agree with that.
Which is, I think, the movie's strength is that you're so wrapped up in these people.
Oh, there's another thing that happens where a character talks about basically brutally murdering or on accident murdering his wife or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just like, get the fuck out of here.
Now, I haven't seen this in about a year and a half, so I actually do not remember that. But I mean, I'll have to go back and watch it again.
It's fine. Again, you can, I feel like I'm nitpicking, or it sounds like I'm nitpicking. I would say go watch the movie.
Look, I think that nitpicking gets a bad rap. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Because if there is something like that where it's like even The Lodge, which I loved, and I keep bringing it up. I'm sorry. By far my favorite thing I've seen this year so far. But the problem is, looking back on it, it's like, but you could have still done all this great stuff.
Right.
With some narrative changes that would have made it even better, because then I wouldn't have anything to bitch about. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of why, and I'm doing a little bit of a Marvel shill thing for a second, but Marvel always budgets in reshoots because they come up with the rough edit for the movie and they say, well, maybe this can be shored up, or maybe this can be fixed, or maybe we can just have a new scene that's going to make this a lot more clear. And I feel like every single movie should have 2 weeks budgeted in for reshoots.
They don't have the money for that, though.
Honest to God,
indie flicks don't.
Honest to God opinion. Well, indie flicks. Look, honest to God, I think what they should do is just shore up your principal photography by a week, and you get a week out after that, and it's in the contracts for all the actors and all the crew. You get another week to fix anything that you need to fix.
Sometimes it's the script, though. Like in this movie, I don't know how you fix it outside of when you wrote the movie. Some of this shit should have been thought about.
There's nothing that could have been undone a little with a line of dialogue, or
I mean, any of the crazy shit that happened that would have made me leave the house.
Sure.
You can't really remove.
Right? You're talking about The Invitation. I was talking about The Lodge. Okay.
The Lodge too, because the entire plot of The Lodge revolves around something that you have to kind of take a little bit of a leap to get there.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
I can take that leap because
you're willing to do it.
The dad is marrying the mom. So obviously he really trusts the mom.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, okay, well, if you wouldn't trust leaving your kids with this woman, would you marry her?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So that's where I go, okay, I'm okay with that. But
I don't even think you're not being ridiculous with that. That's just sort of inferring a logical train of thought.
Right. But when you watch the movie, you're like, well, wait a minute. How did he meet this woman? What's her past like? He knows her past. It's just
people meet people,
I suppose.
Dating sites.
Can we put a pin in this?
Okay. Yeah.
Because when you come back, you'll be like, you didn't tell me that.
Okay.
But in this movie, even The Invitation, like you can't really.
No, you can't.
It's very difficult to not make it. Like you really have to be like, oh my God, what the fuck is he staying there for? Some people don't though. I don't know.
I do like that it ratchets things up slowly.
Oh, it's great. The slow burn aspect of it is great.
Yeah.
Because by the time it gets to the end, like everything that's happening weighs so much on the movie.
Yep.
And
it's really well constructed from like a tension perspective.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you watched?
Let's see here. Oh, I watched a show called Condor, and I might have already talked about it on a previous episode. I finished it. It's a CIA analyst show that's not Jack Ryan.
Okay.
Basically, he is under surveillance, and people think that he's committed this crime. Right, dude. It's pretty good.
Okay.
What's his name? Hulk's father-in-law. What's Hurt? William Hurt. He's fucking great in everything.
Yeah,
and he
is.
plays kind of the old CIA, and it's just the perfect role for him.
Love it.
Yeah. But that's really good. And then I watched a film produced by Justin and Aaron, and they just might be my favorite two human beings in Hollywood. Are they in Hollywood? Are they Hollywood?
I think they're more like Toronto than
they're
Hollywood.
Toronto.
Yeah.
My favorite guys in Toronto.
Oh, definitely.
But Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead did The Endless, Resolution. What was the one with the girl who turns into the monster?
I love
Spring.
Spring. Yes. God, I love that movie.
This movie was springy. It's called After Midnight. I'm going to say it's springy.
Okay.
So this one, and they produced this. They didn't direct it. Justin Benson has a large role in the movie. It's about a couple who are living in kind of this like small town, kind of trashy white trash type town.
Gotcha.
And the boyfriend wakes up one day and the girl's just gone. She just left a stupid note on the, something super vague. I couldn't do it anymore. Blah, 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 right?
Blah, blah, blah. Those stupid things that women say.
So we all do.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
So as soon as he
awful.
leaves, though, this monster starts showing up at the house and trying to get inside. And that's the premise. And it's wonderful. It's a nice little romance. It has a good message. Got a good jump scare in there at one part.
Okay. You really liked it?
It's funny though, because there's I'm realizing right now that there's not much to say about it because it's such a simple movie. It's not long. It's like 85 minutes or 80 minutes or something. It gets directly to the point. It's funny. There's a couple really funny characters. It feels like one of their movies too. Like there's one scene, and again, they didn't direct this, but there's one scene where it's like they're having a conversation like about their relationship. And it's like a single shot, she's sitting here, he's sitting there, the camera doesn't move, but it feels like it's like an 8-minute long conversation. Okay. And you're just like sitting there watching it. And by the end of the conversation, you're like, all these like romance movies that aren't these weird horror monster movies and all these things that are quote unquote like romance that are just not real.
Right.
This is a fairy tale land. Are not nearly as raw and real as this scene, because this is a conversation that most men and women have probably had. It's on a topic that that probably doesn't get talked about as much as it should in horror movies. Kind of the guy's a bit selfish. Everything they do is kind of like things that he wants to do, and she doesn't really fight, And I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, I have this problem. I do the same shit. You know what I mean?
No, that's a very true thing that happens in any relationship, is when you have somebody who can be maybe a domineering personality. Sure. There's always one person that is a little bit more domineering than the other. Yes. That's just how it happens.
And it's in this movie, the way that they go through that. Right. I thought it was really good. Right. You'll love this because you like them. And that it feels like one of their movies. Good. Yeah. And good for them. And they've got another one coming this year.
Can't wait for Synchronic.
I know.
I'm so excited. I believe, it's not, what's his name? Tom Hardy wannabe. No. But it's my boy. It's Falcon.
Falcon's in it. Yeah.
God, I love Anthony Mackie. And God, I can't remember. Oh, it's the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. That's
really?
Yeah.
He's the other guy.
He's the other guy.
Okay.
So cannot wait for that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it as well. Jamie Dornan.
Jamie Dornan.
Jamie Dornan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dorman.
Well, hey, I mean, I'm ready. Sign me up for those two because fucking A. Yep. They just make awesome shit.
I'm really happy because I know for a fact that what ended up happening was Anthony Mackie saw one of their movies and he's like,
Yo, I like your movie.
I really want to work with these guys. I know that's exactly what happened. And they need...
Anthony Mackie.
Well, what they need is... And Anthony Mackie's not an A-list, and Jamie Dornan is probably... He's not an A-list either. But together, they're going to bring enough of a crowd to these guys.
Oh, I'm sure for a science fiction movie, it's probably pretty cheap too.
Right. I'm really excited for it. But last couple pieces of viewing that I have, I started a new anime. It's called The Promised Neverland. It's about these children, and they live in this house with this woman who they think is, well, they call her mother. Really, it's like a giant orphanage, and new children show up, and none of them stay in the orphanage after the age of 12. They all have to leave.
This isn't the one you talked about last time, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Yep. So they live in this house. They're all, taken care of. They take tests. They sort of live like this nice idyllic life. Like it's beautiful where they live. The only thing is on the outskirts of the forest that sort of lines where they live, is a giant wall with an arched gateway. And their mom says, you can't go in there. It's not safe, blah, blah, blah.
Always means they're going to go.
Yep. And spoilers for episode 1. It's the only spoilers I'm going to do. But basically, one of the children is like, I'm going to go get adopted. And so the mom character takes her out, of course, at night, takes her out to that gateway. Well, two of the three main characters notice that she left her stuffed bunny. So they bring it out. They go to the gate. They're like, we're not supposed to be here. They look in the back of a truck. She's dead in the back of the truck. Little 8-year-old girl's dead.
Oh, this is a nice home.
Yeah. And
nice family cartoon.
Yep. Then they hear voices. They go out. They hide under the truck. It's literal demons. And the mom is selling the children to the demons, which the demons then eat.
I like it.
And now basically it becomes about these children trying to, play games with like the mom's trying to catch them. They're trying to get the hell out of there. And it's fucking really good. It's fucking really good.
Sweet.
It's one of those ones where like, I know that if they made it into a movie series, it would just be sick as fuck and people would just love it. But
no one's going to see it.
But it'll never happen.
Yeah.
But it's wildly popular in Japan right now.
Maybe it'll happen then.
It's like, okay, Shonen Jump is kind of like where like they have all like the comics, like the manga strips. And it's number 3, right behind like Demon Slayer, which was one of them that I discussed recently. And then One Piece, which has been a manga that's been going for 20 years. It's like this is fucking nuts. This is an aside, but One Piece is like 2 million copies away from outselling every single comic book that Batman has ever sold.
Jesus.
It will be within like a year or two, it will be the number 2 selling highest comic book series ever.
What's number 1?
Only behind Superman.
That's how it should be.
That's fucking nuts though. So like, and that, I'm sorry, that just blows me the fuck away. But anyways, and I don't even fucking read One Piece because I can't stand the art style. But yeah, it's a fucking dope series. I'm only on like episode 5 or 6, but it's super fucking good.
Where are you watching it?
I'm watching it on Hulu.
Hulu has... I was trying to catch you illegally streaming.
Hulu has like the 3 best anime that are on right now, which is My Hero, Promised Neverland, and Demon Slayer.
There's a My Hero movie coming out this weekend,
is,
right?
Yeah. I think it came out today or tomorrow, something like that. I don't know. It's just going to be an extended episode. I never like watching animes that are... just do an original movie.
So... I just realized I forgot about one more movie I watched.
What's that?
It's called Come to Daddy.
Oh, boy.
And it's Elijah Wood.
Oh, I was going to say, is this an appropriate movie for us to discuss?
I mean, depends on your taste.
Okay.
It is a horror movie, technically, from the guys who made The Greasy Strangler. Which, by the way,
Greasy Strangler.
Fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
This is a really fun movie. He he receives a letter from his dad who abandoned his family when they were like 5.
Okay.
Saying, hey, this is where I live. Come, I want to, rekindle our relationship, whatever,
sure.
Blah, blah, blah. He shows up and the guy is just a fucking asshole.
Okay.
Shit goes down. It gets fucking nuts. Things aren't as they seem, but it's done in that cheesy, Greasy Strangler kind of way. For those of you who have seen the Greasy Strangler.
Sure.
Super violent, but it has a heart. Oh. It's a father-son tale. And Elijah Wood I love that guy.
Oh, he's really good.
Do. And not only as an actor, but just as a guy. Like, did you see some Star Wars fan page? They put on Twitter, did you know that? And it was like an explanation, like the fleet in the third Star Wars movie was built by the Sith, blah blah blah, and the Sith have been living on Exegol for blah. And all Elijah Wood replied with was, "No, how would we know? Like, how would we know that?"
Look, I love him because he went on Screen Junkies back in the day and was like a regular celebrity guest on Movie Fights, which is like just at the time, it was one of my favorite series because it was just 3 nerds sitting down talking about hypotheticals or what movie is better or whatever. And you just had it was great. It was a great show. We should do a show like that.
Yes.
We would never have a consensus ever. We don't have anybody that would be objective about it.
Speaking of guests on shows, Macaulay Culkin was just cast in the 10th season of American Horror Story.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Good for him.
Good for him. Like him too.
So I do. I really like him.
Like them both. They're both movie nerds. That's the thing I love about them. Like they love the actual craft.
Yes. Well, and I know Elijah Wood now, he did the Maniac remake. He's like a big horror guy.
Yeah.
And he's apparently has a pitch for one last Robert Englund Nightmare on Elm Street
fucking
movie.
Do it.
Yeah.
Fucking do it.
Yeah. So
and let Elijah direct.
Yes.
Just I'm sure with how much.
Do you think that he can direct British actors though?
He's classically trained in the British style. Yes. Yes.
Do you have anything else?
I have nothing else.
I will say we watched Stargate. So if you'd like to watch that, it's on Downright Nerdy's YouTube channel this Sunday. So go look up Downright Nerdy Podcast. And I think I'm going to be having a stream conversation with him on a comic that he recommended, Saga.
Saga is great.
It's pretty good so far.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, so if anybody wants to join to talk about Stargate, is it good or bad? The Blu-ray sucks. The Blu-ray sucks dick. I'm going to talk about it on the show.
I think that's a good call.
But the Blu-ray sucks. Here.
He's throwing it. Shit.
The Blu-ray sucks. Hopefully the mic picked that up.
It definitely picked up some things.
But yes.
Because of your viewing of National Treasure, I did view that. God. I watched it 35 minutes in because Jackson's like, there's a guy who literally checks out the main chick's ass. And I was like, okay, this is horrible. It's horrible the whole time. The whole 35 minutes is just awful. And then that happens. I was like, all right, well, Jackson was right. It happens like right at 35 minutes in.
I can't believe it wasn't the most memorable thing in the movie from when I had previously saw it. How is that in the movie?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And I was done. And I said, this is garbage. And sorry, Nicolas Cage, but you're not a sex symbol. You're not a sex symbol. You're just not.
It's true.
Just not. But anyways, I think that's the end of the episode. Rather long episode this week. Thank you for listening. We truly appreciate it. Go and drop us a like and a comment on Bored and Annoyed on YouTube and boredandanoid.com. You can always check us out at Bored and Annoyed on Instagram. Bored_and_annoyed. Is that what it is?
It is.
Yeah. And
what is it on Twitter?
Bored. That I don't fucking
know.
Bored
annoyed.
No and. Because some fucker stole that.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know what? We really need to just record something like for this that we can just drop in our podcast.
We could do that.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Eventually.
Not today, though. I've been spent too much time with you today already.
So. I know I have that effect on people.
Yes.